Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a term that's been buzzing around the tech world, ambient computing. It sounds kind of complex, but it's this quiet revolution that's already changing, well, pretty much everything about how we live with our technology. So let's dive in and see what it's all about. All right, let's start with a little thought experiment. Just imagine for a second that all of your gadgets, your phone, your laptop, your smart speakers, all of it just vanished. Poof. Gone. A world with absolutely no screens to stare at, no keyboards to clack on. Okay, but here's the twist. Even though the devices are gone, the technology is still there, working for you, just invisibly. Your alarm doesn't blare, instead the lights slowly brighten to wake you up. The thermostat has already warmed the house. Your coffee maker starts brewing right on cue. You didn't have to touch a thing. That right there is the promise of ambient computing. So yeah, this idea of technology doing a disappearing act, that's really the heart of it. It's all about making tech so seamless that it just fades into the fabric of our lives. So what is it officially? Well, ambient computing is all about technology that's embedded everywhere around us, working silently in the background to guess what we need and just make our environment better, usually without us even having to poke at it. I love the analogy of ambient lighting in a room. You know, it just sets the mood, makes the space feel right, but you're not constantly fiddling with the dimmer switch. It's intelligence that's just there. Now, what's really wild is that this isn't some brand new, out-of-the-blue idea. A Xerox scientist named Mark Weiser said this way back in 1991. He predicted a future where technology gets so woven into our lives that we stop noticing it, just like we don't think about the electricity running through our walls. We are finally living in the world he imagined.
To really get a handle on where we're going with this, it really helps to see where we've been. This journey to invisible tech didn't happen overnight. It came in a few pretty clear stages.
Our whole relationship with computers has totally transformed. We started out with many people having to share one enormous mainframe computer. Then we got the desktop, which put one computer on your desk. Then came the mobile era, which put that same power right into your pocket. And the cloud connected it all together. See the pattern? Each step made tech more and more personal, leading us right here to today. The ambient era, where it's not one computer for you, but many, many computers all around you. And this, right here, is the biggest shift of all. For decades, the device was the center of your universe. The PC, then the smartphone, everything revolved around it. In the ambient era, that model gets flipped completely on its head. You become the center, and all the devices around you are just there to work together and serve you. So how does this magic trick actually work? It's not one single piece of tech. It's more like a recipe, actually, with 5 key ingredients that all have to come together in just the right way. First thing you need? Senses. This is where the Internet of Things, or IoT, comes in. These are the billions of connected devices that act as the eyes and ears of the system. We're talking smart thermostats, smart light bulbs, wearables, all of them constantly gathering little bits of data from the world around us. Okay, so you have all this data coming in from the senses. What do you do with it? Well, you need a brain. That's the job of artificial intelligence and machine learning. The AI sifts through all that data, learns your patterns, and starts to anticipate what you're going to need next. That's what makes the whole system feel so proactive and smart.
The system also needs reflexes, like super fast reflexes. And that's where something called edge computing comes in. Instead of sending every single piece of information up to the cloud to be processed, it handles a lot of it locally, right there on the device itself. This means it can react way faster, and it's also a big win for privacy.
Then you need a way to communicate, but without a screen. That's the role of natural user interfaces. Think about talking to your smart speaker or using hand gestures. These interfaces get rid of the screen as a middleman. You can just speak or move, and the technology gets it. It feels less like using a gadget and more like just interacting with your home. And finally, we get to the most critical ingredient of them all: trust. I mean, think about it. With devices that are always on, always sensing, we have to be able to trust them. So robust privacy and security aren't just features. They are the absolute foundation. If people don't feel safe and in control, this whole thing falls apart. Okay, so we've got the ingredients. Now let's see what they're actually cooking up out there in the real world. And honestly, ambient computing is already starting to pop up everywhere. We're seeing it in our smart homes for sure, but also in healthcare, in retail stores, in our cars, and even in our offices. It's quietly changing how all these spaces work. I think a perfect real-world example of this is Amazon's Just Walk Out technology. It takes a process that's usually full of friction, shopping and paying, and makes it totally invisible.
I mean, think about it. You just scan your app on the way in, you grab whatever you want off the shelves, put it in your bag, and then you just walk out. That's it. Behind the scenes, this incredible web of cameras, sensors, and AI is figuring out what you took and charging you automatically. The entire checkout line is just gone. That's ambient computing in its purest form.
So what's the big deal? Why does this matter? Well, this tech brings some really tangible benefits. Convenience is the big one, obviously, just automating all those little tedious tasks to give you back time. But it goes beyond that, helping improve our health, making us more productive, and even promoting sustainability by making sure we're not wasting energy. So where is this all going? The future of computing really does seem to be invisible. But the road to get there, well, it has some incredible promise, but also some really significant bumps along the way. And this brings us to the core tension, the central trade-off of this entire idea. On one side, you have this promise of unparalleled convenience, a world where so many things are just handled for you. But on the other side, making that happen requires constant data collection, a world where your movements and routines are being continuously monitored. Balancing those two things is the great challenge. And beyond that big privacy question, there are other major hurdles. There's interoperability. Getting your Apple stuff to talk to your Google stuff and your Amazon stuff, that's a huge puzzle. We also need super reliable, high-speed internet literally everywhere for this to work. And then there's the massive ethical question. How do we make sure the AI is fair and inclusive and doesn't make weird or biased decisions? These are not easy problems to solve. Looking just a little bit down the road, say in the next 3 to 5 years, we can expect a few things. Our everyday devices are going to get way, way smarter and more connected. Augmented reality, or AR glasses, are probably going to start moving from a niche gadget to something more common, overlaying digital info right onto our view of the world. And the whole experience of moving between our different devices is going to get a whole lot smoother. So as technology continues to weave itself deeper and deeper into our lives, maybe even to the point where it disappears from view, the big question we're left with is this. Are you ready for the world it reveals? A world that's more convenient, yes, more intelligent, but also more connected and monitored than ever before. It's a lot to think about.